Hello and welcome. Today on BOI Weekly, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board (NCDMB) and the Bank of Industry convene Stakeholders Forum in Lagos. The crux of the conversation is to address major challenges applicants in the oil and gas sector face in accessing the $200 million Nigerian Content Intervention Fund. The engagement led to mutually rewarding resolutions as delegates had the opportunity to bear their minds on critical issues of concern. I am Kayode Alayande. Welcome to the program. The federal government of Nigeria on April the 22nd, 2010, established the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB. This was done through the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act. The vision was for the NCDMB to be the catalyst for the industrialization of the Nigerian oil and gas industry and its linkage sectors. This was expected to help promote the development and utilization of in-country capacities for the industrialization of Nigeria through the effective implementation of the Nigerian Content Act. To effectively pursue this agenda, the federal government in August of 2017 launched a $200 million fund called the Nigerian Content Intervention Fund and asked the Bank of Industry to manage it. Some of the fund's objectives include building local capacity and increasing indigenous participation in the oil and gas industry, promoting growth and development of Nigerian content in the Nigerian oil and gas sector, to deepen linkages to other sectors of the economy and boost industry contributions to the nation's GDP, and to address persistent funding challenges hindering growth of local service providers in the oil and gas sector, amongst others. Despite the establishment of this fund, fewer than expected targets of the fund have taken advantage of the intervention.
You say you want to fabricate.
That's why the Managing Director of the Bank of Industry, Mr. Pt.1, and the Executive Secretary of the NCDMB, Mr. Simbi Wabote, have organized this Stakeholder Management Forum. The meeting draws no fewer than 84 delegates from different oil and gas service companies in the country.
For instance, you want to come for refinance.
The Executive Secretary of the NCDMB, Mr. Simbi Wabote, lays the groundwork for the conversation.
An applicant can access loans for two different categories, subject to the global applicable maximum obligation limit of 10 million. What that means is that you can take 5 million here, you can take 5 million here in manufacturing concern. We want to try and limit this for more people to benefit than people who have muscle to consume all our $200 million before you know it. So yes, you can ask for 5 million for manufacturing, you can ask for 5 million for loan refinancing. That option is also very open to you.
After the opening statements, the line is thrown open for a no-holds-barred discussion. The comments begin with a little note of praise before the concerns begin to roll in.
I couldn't believe that there could be a seamless transaction like this in Nigeria, when Nigerians will have opportunity of applying for loan and get it without even knowing or having, I don't even know the office of the Bank of Industry. I've not been there, sincerely. So this is incredible. I want to thank Bank of Industry. I want to thank I want you to please liaise with other government agencies, FRIS, to make a case for us on this fund. If NCDMB and Bank of Industry don't make case for us, through the way taxes are going in this country, I don't know how the percentage will be paying on top of this money. So I'm strongly appealing that you should please make a case through another government agency, FRIS, and tell them, look, don't overload them with multiple taxations.
And before long, the very knotty issue of bank guarantees comes up.
I mean, we've looked at DFIs across segments around Africa and even the world. What we've seen, example, Brazil, for example, does not need a commercial bank to provide guarantees to securitize facilities. Now, we understand the peculiarity of our environment, but as a development financial institution, you have the highest risk appetite. You should not even try to mirror your risk with the commercial banks. This doesn't work, right? So if you look at BOI's strength and progress over the years, last 10 years we looked at it, and what we saw is that BOI is growing, but the impact they're making to these sectors, right, is not in the multiple that is comparable across the world.
The banks are not saying that they cannot give guarantee. What the interest, what they are talking about is the interest that BOI is giving. It's giving 8% and they're asked to just take 1%. So if they give 8%, and they only guarantee 1%, they take 1%. That was the mean that bamboo they work, monkey they work, bamboo they chop. That is not profitable to them and to us too. Because by the time the bank did not ask from the back door to say that they want to add 1 or 2%, the interest have now risen to 10%. So what we're asking is that we can collect the guarantee, but we need a reduction of the interest from 8% to 6% so that the banks can give us with 2% so that it will be 8%.
The MD Bank of Industry responds.
We don't compete with commercial banks. We only help to support what they are doing. If you don't ask, because as a DFI, you cannot open a bank account with me. My license does not allow me to have you as my customer. So if I cannot control what you do, all your monies, all your inflows go through these banks, then if I give them money, they must guarantee the money I've given them. Otherwise, I will not be in business for a long time. Now, the average person here or the average company has gone to the commercial bank. Usually, you start out with a branch. The branch officers are very quick to give you a letter that they can give you a bank guarantee. We will now spend time to approve a facility for you. After we have approved it, we now ask you to go and bring the bank guarantee that you had told us you were going to bring in the first instance. Anyway, you now have a problem because the guy couldn't deliver. Because the bank guarantee is not what a branch officer can give you. They now send your application to the head office, who will now give them more conditions that you're not able to meet. So, as general advice, if you're going to go for the bank guarantee, make sure you deal with the head offices of those banks. Anytime a bank gives you a bank guarantee, they have to provide for it. And that provision is about 1%. So ultimately, they are charging you 1% for a bank guarantee. They are providing 1%. The net effect of it is 0. They have no incentive to give it.
A question arises, casting doubts about the technical competence of the Bank of Industry to fully grasp and effectively handle projects in the oil and gas sector. This participant also asks for a clearer direction on what NCDMB hopes to achieve with the fund in terms of capacity building for the industry.
They have funded operations for many years, and they used to have a crack team. Even if you are building an industrial estate in Ota, you have their engineers and everybody rummaging through your facilities. So there is the issue of capacity building in BOI to be able to handle the project. There is also the question of, okay, within NCDMB, we need to sit back and say, what is actually the vision and philosophy of this content fund? If we look 10, 20 years down the road, what do we want the existence of this fund to have achieved? If you go through that process, it will then let you establish the criteria for funding. So we don't have a private equity fund side of it. There should also be a robust Naira side of it. In short, BOI, CBN, they've been doing wonderful Naira loan refinances. I would rather take Naira at 7-8% as they're doing than take dollar, because okay, Naira is a better currency. At least you cap your exchange rate risk. Although people say we earn dollar in the industry, but when you really do the calculation, it doesn't work as easy as that.
And here's how the BOI and NCDMB respond.
You spoke about BOI in the good old days, when we used to have a NIDP, and the guys used to go around checking projects. And maybe BOI of nowadays is not able to look at these oil and gas transactions. That is summary of what you're trying to say in terms of capacity. You know, just to address that point, you know, before this scheme started, I actually had a meeting with the ES. And I promised him that BOI was going to set up a whole new department to handle oil and gas, just to handle this. And we have done that. And we have looked far, you know, and near to get our staff on the table that you see. Okay, apart from the people that are already in the risk area, Mr. Liu Kange is the head of large corporates. We actually brought him in from Canada, you know, he came in from Royal Bank of Canada. You know, Victor, that does some of this analysis, we brought him from Diamond Bank. There are two guys from GT. So we went around, we took the best in the country and outside the country. The oil and gas department of BOI is robust and strong. And of course, you know, I have a background in oil and gas. I not only came from oil and gas, I'm an investor in oil and gas myself. So the new BOI you're talking about understands oil and gas.
We have a 10-year strategic roadmap which we have shared and communicated. And 100% of what you said are in that 10-year strategic roadmap. The fund is growing, but we said, okay, bring out this 200 million and how can we energize the contracting community to continue to do their work and access the fund. We have very thought out strategy on how to invest the fund and regenerate it. The other bit I wish to address again is the fund is available for both Naira and dollar. I don't think anybody has restricted anybody to say you can only apply for dollar. As a matter of fact, one of the loans we approved recently was all Naira. So please let it be clear, it is there for Naira and dollar. We only called it $200 million fund, so that if we convert that to Naira and we pronounce 7 billion, people will think it's so much money. So please be rest assured that it's available for dollar and Naira. We don't intend to reinvent the wheel. That's what is recommended. As a matter of fact, I see people even benefiting more by asking for Naira as opposed to dollar.